We were speaking about Night Eternal. You mentioned it. I love the album. It's just abound with feelings of love, hate in this chaotic time, as well as addressing the ill treatment of women over the centuries. That's a major theme. Can you tell us a little bit about your unique twist on St. John's Apocalypse?
Well, I mean, I've been, I read a lot. That's what I do.
I know you do.
The Bible is a very interesting, even though I'm not Catholic or Christian or religious at all, I think it's a book written by men, and for me it's a book of history and moral.
It's a history book.
And philosophy here and there. So obviously, as I like the lunar side of things, the Apocalypse is one of the books in the Bible that struck me the most, especially when when you're born in the late 70s like I am, and you listen to all these end of the world theories and conspiracy, and also the history of Portugal as being the end of the known world for centuries up to the discovery times, where, for instance, America was discovered and Africa was explored and all of that. So that's a subject that interests me very much. So, and I think it's all epitomized by St. John's Apocalypse in a way. So there was something I wanted to work already for a couple of years. I was, just browsing through the Bible, taking the exact quotes, trying to make them musically doable in a way. So it ended up that the album once again had this apocalyptic feeling to start with, and At Tragic Heights is a story about a descent from heaven, but not the fallen angel, but the fallen Madonna, the fallen lady, in a way. So I think it was quite appropriate to start off with it, because it's strong language, and it's powerful, it's very graphic, and it's exactly what I wanted to have, as a start for the Night Eternal album, because I think in the end it ties very well with all the theme around Night Eternal.
Yes, and everything that's been going on, and that's been going on, as you said, as we've been growing up. You hear about the end times constantly, and
we are Cold War kids.
Cold War kids, exactly.
So we always will have this fear of the things handing from one day to the other, because we are educated on that fear in a way. And I think that I always believe that the band has, I wouldn't say it has to be actual, because you can speak about medieval themes and all of that.
Sure.
But I think our times are definitely, especially when you are a little bit more mature, and especially when you want to do better lyrics and more thoughtful lyrics, I think our times, the things we live, are very important, and I have lived through all of that, and that's why it's so common in my lyrics to speak about that. And actually it started off, all the Night Eternal concept started off with a reading I made on a magazine, and on that magazine, it's a book I have pointed somewhere else, but I don't. I have to look it up, about what's going on Earth after the human race disappear, and that book had some guy that did illustrations for that article, and they were very moving in a way. So there was illustrations of my hometown, Lisbon in Portugal, after the oblivion, and there was a peaceful, like a quiet feeling about it, like the weeds were getting back into town, there was like animals getting back to town, and there was no sign of human race. So Night Eternal is about this quietness, this peace, this continuation that doesn't depend on the human race, but it's also about loss, because I think that nature has a kind of intelligence, definitely, and I think humankind, it's, with all its flaws, it's like the most perfect creation of nature, in a way. So that's why the Madonna on the cover, she's holding to nothing, because I think that nature will be sad as well without us here, even if we pollute or make garbage or whatever.
It's still a loss to Mother Nature.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
that's about
creation.
Night Eternal is about that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, a Memorial, I know you described it as an album of certainties in a past interview. Of course, it had the themes of memories and isolation, past and present. They were all explored. In that sense, how do you relate that to Night Eternal? Is it kind of a continuation or a variation on those themes, or do you view it as something completely different?
I think it ended up being a bit of both because the views in the band were very different about Night Eternal. I felt Moonspell needed better songs than in Memorial. When I mean better songs, I mean songs with more melody, songs with more quiet parts, with more clean vocals. I missed that out of Memorial. While the other guys, especially Pedro and Ricardo, they're musicians, so they get excited about playing fast and good riffing, shredding, and they wanted to go even more in the direction of Memorial. So there was a kind of creative tension over there. That's why we have songs like Scorpion Flower and Dreamless, but also songs like the title song, Night Eternal, Tragic Height, and I think something really good came out of that tension because we were not anal about it. It's our 8th album, so we said, maybe it's just in our mind that the album will sound totally all over the place. So when we went to the studio, we showed the songs to Stu Madsen, and they said, "There's no problem about this. This is Moonspell. We have softer songs, you have harder songs, you have headbanging moments, and you have songs where people can relate to in a more emotional level." So there was a kind of continuation of Memorial because we didn't want to lose the power and the enthusiasm of an album such as Memorial. We still play a couple of songs of Memorial live, like Blood Tells or Finish Tech, and they're really good songs to play live, especially. But I wanted something more moody. So if anyone thinks the album wimped out, I'm the one to blame.
Oh no, I don't. No, it's not a wimp out. I love the moody lyrics.
Because I really like the moody, and I think that belongs also to Moonspell as much as the fast parts. And I really like to play songs. For me, metal, grindcore, jazz, classical music, it's all about a good song.
Exactly.
In the end.
Exactly.
And that's what we wanted to do. And I think Night Eternal, in my opinion, in my eyes, it's better than Memorial because it has all the songs are like were worked very hard to have like a life of their own. While Memorial is more an album that you listen to, Night Eternal it's definitely about the songs. And I like those albums like we do. Like Irreligious was an album that was about the songs as well.
Right. Okay.